Hey, adapted PE teacher here, bringing you a few ideas that I've come up with for my adapted PE classes. Just some things that I've kind of invented or came up with that some other people have told me are good ideas. The first one here, and never mind the badminton net, we're just happen to be playing badminton this week, but the first one here is a laundry basket basketball hoop. I set it up on this volleyball standard here. Basically, I just cut the bottom off of a laundry basket and attach this plastic tubing here on the back, and that allows it to slide up and down on the volleyball standard. And it's blocked by this rope here right now, but I've got this rubber band on here, and because of the rubber band and because the tube is just barely big enough than the standard pole, this rubber band allows it to be set wherever I want it to, so I can slide it down and move it down to here, or I could slide it up and move it up as far as I want it to be. And I just have some lights on there because I have a student who's got some vision impairment problems, and it helps them see it a little better, but you wouldn't have to have the lights on there, obviously. And that works out pretty slickly for students who can't quite make it all the way up to a 10-foot basketball hoop. And then over here, because we are playing badminton, I have one of my tricks that I use for many different sports, basically using string or fishing line to tie the ball, or birdie in this case, to suspend it and make it a little bit easier to hit. So I just have another volleyball standard here. I have a pole vaulting pole going across the top here, just kind of jimmy rigged up on top of this deal. And then I just have some rope tied up here. I tried fishing line first, and the fishing line broke and didn't work that well. But I figured you got to have a plastic ring like that on there so the rope doesn't wrap itself around every time, so you have to reset it. But it works out pretty slickly with being able to, you just hit it with the racket and it swings around there. Sometimes it gets caught up, but it works pretty good with just letting kids hit that suspended birdie and just get used to the wrist snap of that badminton hit. And for kids that don't have as much success hitting the birdie out of the air, it works pretty well. And I've used that trick with other sports too. It works pretty well with wiffle ball or tennis. For those sports, sometimes I'll tie a wiffle ball or a tennis ball onto a string and then maybe tie it onto the end of a hockey stick. And then you can hold that hockey stick out and they can take swings that way. And then the other thing that I do that's kind of an out-of-the-box idea is I use a fishing pole. I have kind of a junky fishing pole here that I use. And I happen to have a badminton birdie on there now, but I've used it with wiffle balls before for playing baseball or wiffle ball. So basically you just have this badminton birdie on here, and you can use it to, you can hold it out so the student can practice, hitting it. And if you want to, if you time it just right when they hit it, if you push the button on the reel, the birdie will actually travel out. And same thing with a wiffle ball. If you have a tee, you could set the wiffle ball on a tee, and then once the ball's on the tee, you could hit the button and release the spool, and then when the student hits the ball would travel out, and then you could just simply reel the ball back in, especially if you're short on teaching staff or something like that. Then you don't have to be running out 75 feet out into the outfield to get the ball every time. So that works pretty slick too, just putting something on a fishing pole like that. And those are some of my ideas for adapted PE. Just putting stuff on strings and a little laundry basket hoop over there. So hopefully this gave you some good ideas to do for your class.